Hello, and welcome to the Creative Mindset Podcast. My name is Isolde Trachtenberg, and I am thrilled to welcome you. This show is about vision and tactics. We will discover practical techniques to develop your vision of your creativity. We'll also discuss techniques to find the mental and emotional space, as well as the inspiration to create. And then we'll explore what it takes to spread the word about your creation so you can live your best and most creative life. I'm spending a fair amount of time thinking about photography today. I am in the middle of running a really fun experiment with 3 different photographs of the ocean right after sunset the other night. What's interesting to me about those 3 photographs is that one of them is traditionally composed shot. Another one, or the second one, is a little bit more blocked, if you will. And the third is very open. And it's walking over the dunes and whether or not there's fencing in your way, essentially. And I'm doing it because I'm holding a sort of a survey, if you will, of who likes which shot best. And the reason I'm trying to do that is I'm trying to get to see whether or not we like to have complete freedom, no fencing, obstacles, fencing that looks like it's almost going to be completely in your way, or guidance, which is the third one. And that one is where the fence sort of leads you into the distance, into the edge of, into infinity perspective in the shot, so that you can then find your way to the ocean. And I set it about looking for people's answers. What do they think is the most pleasing to them? And it makes me wonder, as creatives, as artists, how do we create our art? Do we create it so that it's completely accessible to anyone and everyone? Or do we want to keep some of it hidden? Or do we want to keep our viewers, the people who consume our art, as trusted friends and allies? Do we want to sort of hold them in the hollow of our hands and guide them to an appreciation, or I guess appreciation is the right word, of the piece itself? And I think all of this has a lot to do with what is our intention when we put ourselves out there. When you decide that you're going to express yourself creatively, and more importantly, when you decide that you are going to try and make money with your art, you have to figure out who your intended audience is. And those pictures kind of are telling me something about the way people are looking at art. They want a certain amount of guidance. They don't want complete freedom to do whatever they want in their interpretation or appreciation of art. And they don't want to feel closed off or blocked off as they try to figure out what the art means. They want guidance. And I love the idea of that. I heard something recently that said if you're trying to please everybody, you're going to end up not pleasing anybody, right? If you're trying to reach everybody, you're not really speaking to anybody. And I think that has power right there. We can look at creating art with an idea for who is our intended audience, or we can look at it like, I'm just expressing myself and that's that. And it's an age-old question. How are we doing it? Who are we creating for? And most importantly, does it matter whether or not we are guiding the person who is perceiving or looking or listening to our art in a way that is substantive and helpful to them? Or are we sort of setting them free, cutting them loose, and letting them appreciate it or evaluate it or take it in whatever way they want? I think as I delve more deeply into this idea of creative entrepreneurship, that art with an eye towards commerce often ends up having to be about guidance. We want the imagery to be guided somehow. If it's completely open to interpretation, if it has no real focus, I think sometimes the actual value can get lost. I know that sounds weird, but I really am starting to believe that. I believe we all want a kernel, a bit of something with which to focus. When we have it, it makes everything a lot easier. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about your ideal client. Sending you my love.
Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. Please subscribe to the podcast if you're new, and please tell your friends about the community we're building here. Today's episode was produced by Isolde Trachtenberg and is copyright Isolde Trachtenberg 2019. Today's music was from Kevin MacLeod, Laser Groove, and Ave Marimba, brought to you by Creative Commons License 3.0. As always, please remember this is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Past performance does not guarantee future results, although we can always hope. Until next time, I send you all of my love.